So we're gonna go ahead and test out the performance of this Kryptek gear. I hate running. By the way, I'm doing this for you guys. I hate running. Oh man, it's terrible. I feel terrible afterwards whenever I run. But it's raining pretty good out here, so I'm gonna test it. It's a good time to test it. To see if it sheds water. And I'm gonna get my body temperature up to see if it wicks out moisture. See if I can get some sweat going here. I've had these breathable so-called jackets and stuff, and they don't work at all. Put my hood on. Actually, that's better. Oh, I hate running. Nobody gets freaked out about some dude running around in camo. Yeah, so I had that Mountain Hardwear jacket for about 2 years. Claimed to be breathable and waterproof. Expensive jacket. It never was either. It didn't stop the wind and it didn't stop the rain. And he just ended up sweating out in it and getting soaked. But this one seems to be really, really good. It's a Kryptek branded jacket, and I don't know who makes it. If they make it or what. But the gear is fantastic. So, let's cut up here. Whew. You can see here it's just perfectly dry. Perfectly dry. So, I don't know what this stuff is, but it's just bone dry. No problem. And the outside's wet. Yeah, the outside still has rain on it and stuff. But it's definitely really good stuff. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hey, we're out here in the field, literally in the field, doing a test, doing a review on the Kryptek branded Poseidon 2 rain gear in the Kryptek Mandrake pattern. So the thing about this gear, this rain gear right here, is that it's actually manufactured by the brand Kryptek, so they have a line of their own stuff. This hat right here is manufactured by another company with licensed camouflage pattern from Kryptek. So there's two different ways of doing that. Kryptek makes their own line of gear. You'll see a lot of their hunting gear. You can buy it directly from them, or they sell on Amazon and various other distributors. So this I purchased, I believe, from a local dealer, Sportsman's Warehouse, and so you can still buy it through various things. Before we get too far, go ahead and take that pinky finger. It's real easy. Go ahead and drag your mouse up to that button that says subscribe. Just lightly tap that. It really helps us out. We love new subscribers. We'd love to have you on board. Once you subscribe, there's a little bell icon that'll come up. Our subscribers who have been kind of around this channel will look at that and refer to that maybe as like the Liberty Bell. It's like the black helicopters found us already. If you're in your parents' basement, no problem. You can look at that as the dinner bell. Go ahead and click it. Either way, we don't care. We don't discriminate. We're open to anybody on this channel. So thanks again for the subscribership, guys. It's always fun to hear from you guys, and you know, I always learn more from you probably than you learn from me. So about 8 months ago, I found myself looking for bad weather camouflage, and the reason is because I was invited to go on a coyote hunt in southern Oregon, and I realized, wow, there could be some bad weather there. It's during the spring, unpredictable. And I realized I didn't have any good rain gear type camouflage. And so I set out to kind of look for some rain gear. I went over and tried on some stuff and really found that this Poseidon rain gear really fit me well. I'd had some experiences in the past with this so-called waterproof, breathable fabric, like I might have mentioned on this channel before, where it wasn't either waterproof or breathable, and it just made you feel real clammy, and actually you were more or less raining on the inside. That's an inside joke. You Amy Grant fans from the 80s will understand. But really not so good, not a good experience. So I tried this, and for the last 8 months, I've had kind of a long-term test on it. I wear it to work, I wear it around, I've worn it in nasty weather. You've seen it for quite a while on some hikes and various things, and it's done really, really well. It is a breathable, waterproof fabric. The seams are taped. There's a Velcro type cuffs on this. What else? It has that kind of plasticky feel on the inside, so you'll want to wear some sort of long sleeve shirt with it. Otherwise, you'll get that kind of clammy, plasticky feeling. But it does stay waterproof. So the point with any good camouflage, other than the Mall Ninja stuff that you'll find at a gas station, is to break up your silhouette when you're against the environment that you're in. In this case, I'm in kind of a wooded environment. The Highlander is more or less for a little bit drier climate than we have right here where I'm standing. So it's a little more brown in nature. So keep that in mind when you're looking for the right gear. They make this in a greener tint, would probably do better here, but I find it's just a little too green for even what we have around here. Though I'd like to test it and try it at some point. This is kind of a good all around. The way it works is there's two patterns on any of this good camo. This has a kind of a dithered, you'll see a macro pattern, so it's almost like spray paint splotches with greens and browns and pinks and tans. And then over the top, if I get closer, which I'll zoom in at some point, I don't want to autofocus it, well, I'll zoom in and show you this, but it has a micro pattern. And so what that does is it tricks your eye, and it's supposed to be a disruptive type pattern where you don't see the edges. So when I stand back into this environment, I'll blend in more, and so an animal or a human won't see see my silhouette as easy. Humans and animals tend to see straight lines, and any of these good camos try to break up that effect. I showed you earlier that I was standing behind the woods back there. You probably didn't even notice I was there. That's the sign of a good camo, and this has kind of proven itself. The other reason to go for the Kryptek brand and pattern is, well, there's two reasons, I think. Maybe three. The first reason being it's very effective. You can obviously see that it works. Simple. There's a lot of science that goes into it. This company was around and they were designing camo patterns for the Alaskan hunter. Just didn't find anything that met their needs, so they started, of course, developing their own. Very small company. Over time, they tried to compete in a military contract. Didn't quite win it. Of course, I think Cry Precision won it. Multicam, really familiar pattern. And so, but nonetheless, they were able to kind of get their way into the tactical market. So that brings us to reason number two. So if you are looking for outdoor gear that you can hunt in, plus you want to buy some tactical gear, maybe you're into the shooting sports market, or just you're a preparedness-minded individual, you can of course go out and buy gear that matches this. Of course, matching is always a good thing. You want to look professional, even if you're not. So you can buy tactical gear that matches up with the Kryptek pattern. On the flip side of that, I can wear this at a grocery store around here in this area and not be looked at funny, because it's pretty common for hunters to wear their gear, out walking around in town. So it doesn't look overly tactical. That is very, very nice when you want to buy one set of gear. So when you buy multicam, for instance, or woodland camo, which I lovingly refer to as homeless camo, which you can buy at a surplus store, nothing wrong with it. Actually blends in pretty well and is making sort of a comeback in the camo market. But it looks overly tactical. It looks like Vietnam era to Desert Storm to whatever. It just looks kind of like, is this guy a tactical dude walking around town? This doesn't have that look to it. It's a little more clean-cut, technical, professional. Looks like if you don't know anything about it, it just looks like hunting gear. So it doesn't raise any red flags. So you can wear it around town, not have to feel like you're going to alarm anybody or overly alarm anybody. When people get up close and they see it, they usually ask you questions like, "What is that? Why? What's that? It looks kind of reptilian, whatever." So it's kind of cool. But I can tell you that overall, for the money, you're talking about, I think I paid about $150 for this gear. You can buy it on sale right now at Kryptek's website, or you can get it on Amazon for about $100 per piece. So $100 for the jacket, $100 for the pants. If you find that that's something that you're going to use, it might be a worthwhile investment. I can attest to its performance in the rain. It's actually kind of raining right now. I got to be careful. My camera isn't waterproof, so I got to wrap this up pretty quick. It is thin. I wouldn't just go crazy with the durability and, you know, bushes and sticker bushes and that kind of stuff. It could rip. It's pretty thin. It's packable, about 12 ounces for the pants, about 11.5 ounces for the jacket. So it is very packable, very, very lightweight, but feels substantial when you are wearing it. So I think it's a good piece of kit to invest in. The thing about the Poseidon gear is that it's meant to be used over whatever clothing you have on at the time. And it has this really nice zipper, waterproof zipper. I think it's YKK, but I don't know for sure. I think it is. And of course you can unzip this thing all the way up. I usually find that I don't have to go, you know, up to about my knee. Then I can put it on put it over whatever boots that I have, and then I'm good to go. One thing that you'll find with any of this type of waterproof camo is that it does make a bit of noise. It is a little bit scratchy. That's just something to be aware of. It's typical waterproof. This isn't any noisier than anything else out there. If anything, I'd say it's a little quieter, but you can hear it. It does make a little bit of racket. So just keep that in mind. It's not meant to be stalking animals with. This is kind of like nasty weather gear. So it also has a pretty generous hood. I think it could do with a little bit of Velcro or something to hold this back, because I find that the only real gripe I have with this gear is that it kind of goes a little too far. When you zip it up, and if you have like a hat on underneath it, it's fine, because that'll kind of hold it up. But that's kind of what it looks like right there. And so you can really get this thing, you know, covering your head and actually kind of cover your eyes and stuff, so you can stay kind of low profile. But it is a little, again, it's a little noisy, and when you have your head in here, you really can't hear a whole lot outside of it. That's just the nature of the beast there. But generous hood, I really think it could do with a little bit of adjustment or some sort of, you know, cording or whatever, that you can actually tighten this back up so you can get this up out of your face. I find when I put this on, I kind of lose visibility, you know, up and around here when I'm kind of tucked in behind a bush or something like that. If I'm hunting, then I really can't see very well, and I have to kind of keep like looking out of it, and that's not always good. The only real gripe I have with the pattern itself and on this particular fabric is when you stand back in certain environments, it tends to kind of look, and you can kind of see it now, it looks a little bit pink. I don't know why that is. It might have just been this particular fabric. The pants don't seem to do that, so I'm wondering if they just went to a lighter, you know, type of fabric or something like that. But that's the only thing I can really think of as far as the pattern goes. I don't know if they're just, you know, changed some of the stuff, but that's something to be aware of. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's about all I have on the Kryptek Highlander patterned Poseidon rain gear. Really highly recommended. Like I said, go out and get one if you feel like you're in the market for waterproof camo. Decent prices, not cheap, not as expensive as, say, like the Sitka stuff or the First Light stuff. You're kind of still at the lower middle range of that type of thing. So you hunters will understand the costing involved with this stuff. So it sounds like a lot, but, you know, buy once, cry once. I've been really impressed with it as gear. It appears that Kryptek is trying to corner the performance fabric market. They're working with some German companies, I think Scholler or something like that. I don't think that's what this is, but they're trying to get this ultra high performance out of the fabric. So a company to watch, as in end of 2018, still a pretty viable option, subject to change. I don't know where they are as a company, but it's pretty cool to see these types of products come out, and I've been really impressed with this bit of gear. So I'll see you on the next one. I'll talk to you guys later.